All right, we're gonna go into a little bit more depth of art and creativity. So, in the last video, we talked about how art and we gotta have our own art and creativity because these other cultures take from us instead of putting back into us with their art and creativity. This is because it's their art and this is their culture, right? So, this isn't the only thing that is taken from us. When we don't have our own art and creativity that's coming from us, a lot of the things that we see have bad messages in them. Of course, what they think our culture is as well, which would include sex, money, drugs, and crack epidemic, right? So we have to have our own art and film in order to be able to put ourselves in proper light, as well as push a positive image and not a negative, disgusting agenda message, right? So art and film should help you feel more connected to you and your life. What that means is the purpose that you have and the path that you're choosing, whether it be a career in maybe a basketball career or just you are at a moment of time where you're playing basketball is what I mean. Or maybe you're very poetic and you're into your literature, or maybe you're a lawyer or something like this, right? Whatever that creative thing, whatever your career is, whatever your purpose is on this life, our art and film should be putting back into that, not taking from it. So what it should be doing is it should be giving you real life experiences, things that you might go through, things that you might have already been through. It should educate you on the prison systems. It should educate you on people that are behind bars who have been on the same route that you've been on, but made one bad mistake and ended up behind a cell, right? And it should also teach you about what a real black man looks like, because you don't see that in out here too much in the world. Most of the black men that you see are most of the black men who actually portray that image is behind bars, right? And a little boy, he doesn't really follow directions to anything you tell them to do unless they see the older version of them doing it, right? This is common sense, right? So unfortunately, the older version of them is most of the time is behind bars. I can tell you, me personally, when I was incarcerated, I wasn't getting as much of the black image of what a black man should look like enough until I got incarcerated. It was when I got incarcerated I found everything I was looking for throughout my teenage years, right? So this is important that this image gets shown and that these characters are created, right? Who portray what a black man really is by actual black men, by people who were incarcerated. You know, put these people in films as characters, right? Whether it's art or whether it's an actual film, right? Make characters out of these real people and let them be themselves within these films. That way people can see, or that boys can, or kids, you can see, like, the thought process, the philosophies, the culture, the principles of what they stand for and how they go about themselves, right? This is how you teach. Like I said, it's mental. Anything art and film is mental development. This is psychologically teaching a kid mental things, right? So the other thing about art and film is a lot of times when we're working these corporate jobs, right, we lose touch of ourselves, we lose touch of our purpose, and we lose touch of our humanity, right, within these corporate jobs. When we go home, a lot of times we like to watch the TV and put on the image, which is natural for people. But why people do that, the whole purpose of TV and film is to reconnect people back to humanity, right, through art and film when they're not physically present, right? So the idea of the art and film we create is not to push all this weird, dumb, and freaking, this weird stuff and push the humanity and people that go through things and people who have dreams and come into and are on their purpose, right? Push this image at all times. An art and film show or movie should not come through us or get pushed through us unless it has the image of somebody who's on their purpose or that humanity side at least, right? We want to see the humanity in a person, right? This is how we connect with each other. This is how we get unification. Anything else is going to be a disconnection, because that's the whole idea. Disconnection comes from inhumanity, which is basically all we see. So this is how our art and film must be, right? The other thing is it has to promote African culture and our culture, right? What is our culture? What does our culture stand for? It shouldn't promote Asian culture or I don't even want to go into that or certainly not a European culture, and we know exactly why I shouldn't promote that, right? That's where you get all your homosexual and other type of stuff from, right? So it's something that should promote African culture and what we stand for and the things that we go by, right? Kind of like Black Panther. Black Panther was an African film, and it promoted so much of our culture in it, and it really connected us. That's how our film, how our art should be as well, when in terms of film, right? So these are just some of the few things that our art and film should possess and have in it. We gotta remove the other cultures from the art and film that we have, and specifically promote our own. This has to be a base to where we can come to and see our culture and actually be uplifted by it, because many times we're deprived of what we truly are, and we're burnt out from by these other cultures and by everything we see and experience that is outside of ourselves. So our art and film culture actually must be strictly our culture, because this has to be a place of where we can reconnect back to ourselves and have a sense of security and a sense of peace and what's the word I'm looking for? We have to have it's like a sacred place, right? A sacred place that you can go to in order to be uplifted, right? Almost like a shrine. It's not a, right? It's just an example, right? A shrine, what's the idea of a shrine? It's this sacred place that nobody really enters, but you enter it. You enter this sacred place in order to really get the pure essence of yourself. And then you come back out. And then you come back out and communicate and do this. That's how the art and film should be, right? So these are just the different types of things that I believe should be implemented when we make our art and films. They have to be sacred. They have to promote African culture. It has to reconnect to the black men from the prison systems, and it has to connect to the philosophies that they have, and it has to be some of the personalities that they have, right? Because the black boys are derived of this image, and this is where this image is going to come from, right? And we know the importance of this stuff, right? This takes from the culture of, it takes from the image that we see of ourselves in social media, and it unites us in a certain way. It has to be human felt, right? It has to deal with human aspects, human aspirations, and human problems that we face, right? In order to connect us. It can't be none of that fake stuff, right? So this is what I believe our art and film should be. And when we are able to create our own production systems and not rely on the production systems of anyone else, then we'll be able to control our image, right?